Join the conversation with the Morning Majlis, Pulse 95.
Hello, good morning, and welcome on to the Morning Majlis. We are here on the hump day, keeping you motivated and very happy that August has finally come to an end.
Yes, I know. I love September. It's my month.
Well, it's taken a long time for August to go past, and yesterday I was very disappointed, in fact.
Why?
Because Sahel Star disappointed me.
Oh, again?
It touched 49 degrees Celsius.
It was very hot yesterday.
I could not believe it.
It was very hot. And I was thinking, I was like, what does Abdul Karim think about this?
I was just baffled. I think science and...
you kept promoting the whole Sahel Star thing and the summer coming to an end.
Exactly.
And then there you go. Yesterday it was like, what, 46 or 47
it
degrees?
Touched 49.
49?
Touched 49 on the
so much for that.
Yeah, Sahel, you've let us down. But apart from that, I don't think the Majlis is going to let you down because we've got big stories that we will be chasing this morning.
We do. We will start with the latest from Sharjah. We're talking about the latest from Sharjah Electricity and Water Authority and the amount of power supply it has been providing and what projects the authority is planning to develop and implement when it comes to adding more networks and channels across the Emirates. So if you're a Sharjah resident, the story is really of importance to you, so stay tuned.
That's right. Stay tuned for that. Plus, we're going to go into what happened in Abu Dhabi and the Emirate of Dubai yesterday as well. What the authorities have been saying with regards to the gas explosion in a number of restaurants as well. Should clarify things for the audience this morning. We're also going to talk about what is happening in Lebanon with the appointment of a new Prime Minister, Mustafa Adib, the former ambassador to Germany. We'll talk about how members of parliament are receiving this development, the people of Lebanon as well, and how this is set to change the country moving forward.
Yeah, lots to catch up on this morning. And if you'd like to get involved with the on the text lines, you can do so on 4215. And you can continue this debate whether summer has actually ended or not. Did Sahel Star work its magic or not? Because one day it tells us it's raining, the winter is here, the next day it is frying, and so it is something that we will continue talking about. So do have your say on the matter. We'll be right back after some musical entertainment, and we'll also give you a bit of a traffic update to keep you moving throughout the day. This is the Morning Majlis on Pulse 95.
Join the conversation with the Morning Majlis, Pulse 95.
Yes, join the conversation. Text us at 4215 throughout the show. Make this your majlis. And we head over to Lebanon. In the aftermath of a deadly explosion that occurred in the capital of Lebanon, Beirut, on the 4th of August, 200 at least people were killed by the blast caused by ammonium nitrate stored unsafely at the city's port. This also resulted in the resignation of Lebanon's government and prime minister. But we've got a lot of change coming. A new prime minister has been designated, and he has pledged a lot of change in Lebanon. He recently visited areas devastated by this huge blast and said that he would, quote, put the country on the right path. He's also reportedly secured support from the majority of members of parliament to form a new government. We're talking about Mustafa Adib. He's the 48-year-old ambassador to Germany, nominated as prime minister by 90 members of parliament.
Absolutely, Ahmed. And there has been major French pressure on the nomination of Mustafa Adib as well. France's President Emmanuel Macron said he would press for reforms aimed at dragging Lebanon out of this financial abyss as he began a visit to Beirut hours after Lebanese leaders named Mustafa Adib as the new prime minister on Monday. Now, senior Lebanese officials said that Macron's mediation was essential in securing agreement on a new prime minister in the 48 hours before consensus emerged on Adib. Macron also made a series of phone calls to Lebanese leaders at the weekend that were vital to securing consensus on Adib. But according to a senior Lebanese politician, he said it was the pressure of his calls to everyone, the pressure of his coming to Lebanon, the pressure of everyone not wanting to upset him that facilitated this decision to happen. Macron is also demanding a government of mission, clean, efficient, able to implement the necessary reforms in Lebanon. And in addition to Macron's involvement in this decision, with Hariri's backing, Adib will certainly enjoy more support than Hassan Diab outgoing government, as he was nominated by the major leading parties in the nation and its allies, which together have a parliamentary majority.
Yeah, I'm just reading up on Mustafa Adib and what other people have been saying about him, and you could tell that he's got the backing of the European Union,
right?
Being an ambassador to Germany since 2013, it's serving for a very long time.
Yeah.
He is originally from Tripoli. He was born there, and his friends and people who know him or close to him describe him as calm, courteous, and diplomatic. He's not a man of confrontation and does not take strong stances, but avoids problems and strives to solve them diplomatically with the view to consolidating his relationship with different sides. He's fairly diplomatic. No, yeah. Perfectly in line with that. And looking at his other promises, people have such as groups such as Lebanon Rises Up has also been saying not so pleasant things about him. Lebanon Rises Up in Germany have said that we see no change for the better in Ambassador Mustafa Adib being named. He's the subject to the quota system in place in Lebanon. But he is going to be very interesting to see how he takes his leadership forward. One of the first things he did was visit the scene of the incident, and that's a pretty strong message being sent out there saying, look, even though I'm a diplomat, I'm going to be people's man. I'm going to be out there and showing my support.
Yeah, that was definitely a big gesture. One that hasn't gone as smoothly, however. Some have spoken to him expressing a bit of a concern about how he could shake things up moving forward. In Lebanon, generally, the sentiment is there's a lot of frustration among the people. And that's because their economy has been embroiled in a crisis for quite some time now, even before the coronavirus pandemic at the start of this year. Its public debt to gross domestic product, what a country owes compared to what it produces, was the third highest in the world. Unemployment stood at 25%, and nearly a third of Lebanon's population was living below the poverty line. And we've had mass protests since late 2019, ignited by a plan to tax WhatsApp calls, led to mass protests over economic turmoil and corruption. And that led to that government's resignation. Well, now we have another government's resignation. And the big theme here and point of frustration among the public is their gripe with corruption. They say it's widespread and they are calling for an end to that. And the new government now has pledged to curb on that and work in a way that is efficient, work with people who have expertise, who operate on merit and not connections or how they got there or taking people's money unfairly and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of optimism about Lebanon's new leadership and what they could do.
Another interesting fact for all of our listeners out there, it was on the 1st of September 1920, French General Henri Gouraud stood on the porch of a Beirut palace surrounded by local politicians and religious leaders to declare the state of Greater Lebanon. It's 100 years since Lebanon's formation, and Emmanuel Macron is in fact flying over to mark this occasion with the Lebanese population, and we're hoping that the new leadership can steer it away from the current crisis it faces, and eventually things do move on very quickly. Well, let us know if you are of Lebanese origin, and talk to us about how and what the century means to you. Text lines remain open 4215 if you'd like to share your thoughts and kind words as well, and we'll definitely give you a shout out and read them out on air. For now, it is time now for us to take a bit of a breather. We'll return right after some musical entertainment and then keep you moving with another traffic update that is fast approaching. And then we'll be right back, right here on the Morning Majlis, only on Pulse 95.
Pulse 95. Between local lines. Notes from the Emirate. Pulse.
Yes, it is Notes from the Emirates. We are getting excited about the world of shopping promotions. I am very sad that I don't have my BMW X2 that I would have potentially won and been driving around Sharjah, but sadly, someone else has been driving now, and we had lots of winners and a big jump in terms of sales that took place, and so much has been happening for post-shopping promotions.
That's right. The Director General of the Sharjah Chamber of Commerce and Industry said that the Sharjah Shopping Promotions was a very successful campaign that offered shoppers valuable raffles and prizes and supported definitely the commercial sector and the shopping movement in the Emirates. Mr. Al-Awadi also noted that the sales of the campaign reached 600 million dirhams.
Wow.
And that included also issuing 3 million coupons to shoppers of participating shopping centers here in the Emirate of Sharjah.
Yeah, this was an exciting time for Sharjah here. A lot of attractive offers across the malls in the Emirate, and on top of international brands and various types of goods being provided at a very lively atmosphere and at great prices. Pulse 95 had quite the presence during these promotions.
Yeah, we did. We had Big Hassan and Anna Schofield that were down at the malls across the nation, across the Emirates. In fact, 06 Mall, Oasis Mall, and Sharjah City Centre. Lots of people actually won loads of prizes from us, taking part in those push-up challenges, taking part in a number of quiz competitions that we had as well. And from what we do know, that it is that Big Hass and Anna Schofield really had a cracking time interacting with the listeners of Pulse 95, and also the number of Sharjawis and Sharjawiyas that went over to the shopping malls to make the good use of the shopping promotions. And looking at what Sharjah Chamber of Commerce has also done, they've in fact organised a ceremony yesterday to honour the strategic partners from the government and private sectors for taking part in that Sharjah shopping promotions, which was held under the slogan "Smile, you are in Sharjah" from July 22 to August 21, and it really was a very popular event that took place here in Sharjah.
Absolutely, and this campaign was definitely a unique opportunity for residents of Sharjah and the UAE in general to explore and enjoy the advantages the Emirates offers as the close cooperation that brought together the government and private sectors really, and contributed to developing a wide range of exclusive offers and activities that meet the aspirations of all members of the society.
Yep, of course. Drop us a text. 4215. Did you make a purchase? Or are you one of those driving BMW X2 and listening
that we
to
envy
us?
so much.
If you're driving that car and tuned into Pulse 95, you know, you've
I
got
wonder what those people feel like. Anybody who wins like a raffle or something.
Yeah.
I just want to know, like, oh, where'd you get this your car from? I won it.
You want it, yeah. It's such a proud
It's such a proud moment.
of pride, definitely, because now they'll be cruising around.
I want to interview those people. I wish.
If you're tuning in, listening, driving that X2, you're welcome onto the show. What you can do is come onto the show, talk to us whilst
and then give us your car.
We steal the car keys. We take the car keys and go for a spin. Why not? But yes, it is going to be, it has been a very good experience for all of us here in Sharjah to be taking part in the Sharjah shopping promotions, making good use of those discounts and making those valuable purchases for people's celebrations, because it is very close to the festive period and also very close to the holiday season. We will now move on from our discussions here, prepare for the world of news headlines, and we'll return right after that and continuing the discussions right here on the Morning Majlis. Stay tuned to Pulse 95.
Entertainment headlines.
Entertainment headlines.
Entertainment headlines.
This is
The Buzz.
This is The Buzz. Who watched the MTV VMAs?
Did your favorite person win any awards, Beyonce?
I didn't watch it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did she though?
I didn't think she did.
Did
She's not that great, Rania.
Oh,
Excuse me?
no.
Not that great.
Excuse me? How dare you?
Maybe other singers are good.
I
Lady
stopped-
Gaga, maybe.
I stopped watching the VMAs probably in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, Beyonce was actually on all the lists, top
True.
lists. I don't know if she won that year. Did she? I'm not sure.
Mm.
But I remember that year, 2007, a video of the year was actually Rihanna featuring Jay-Z, Umbrella. Remember that song?
Oh, yeah.
I do remember that song.
Yeah. I'm very
do
old.
remember that song. Very, very
Yeah.
popular indeed. Okay, so what's
What's happening this year? What's happening this year?
Well, what happened this year is a number of people won. It was a pretty big ceremony here, the 2020 MTV Music Video Awards, or Video Music Awards. And some of the big winners include Lady Gaga. She performed Rain on Me with Ariana Grande, and they won the first award of the night for Best Collaboration for their hit single. And two more of the top awards of the night, Artist of the Year and Song of the Year, went to Lady Gaga as well. So Lady Gaga was a pretty big winner here. Taylor Swift also won for Best Direction in a music video and sent in an acceptance video message from home. And those are some of the more noteworthy winners. But yes, big night for Lady Gaga.
I'm looking at what she's wearing. I mean, back in 2010, also at the VMAs, she wore the infamous meat dress.
Yes.
And now it's, I don't know, it's coronavirus-inspired attire? I'm not sure.
We're going there.
Yeah. She's wearing what is this? A face shield slash mask slash pink. I don't know. Do you see what I'm seeing?
Yeah, she's got a pretty cool face mask. It's red, it's elaborate, it's filled with jewelry in it. Pretty interesting to see how people have been playing on with the whole mask wearing thing in terms of fashion.
Well, it certainly is.
Realized
This is her
I've been making
acceptance
music
speech.
since I was a little girl, and even though I had really, really big dreams, I truly never could have imagined that someday I would be given an award like this that honored me for so many of my passions. I want you to know I failed over and over again as an actress and as a musician when I was young, and though I gave back to the local community through service as a young woman in New York, philanthropy became a much bigger part of my life as a star. And I started the Born This Way Foundation with my mother, Cynthia, once my record broke. I want to share this award with everybody at home tonight. Everybody at home that is their own form of a tricon. I wish for you to think right now of 3 things that define who you are, and take a moment to reward yourself for your bravery. This has not been an easy year for a lot of people, but what I see in the world is a massive triumph of courage. I also hope that people at home that have big dreams, I hope they see me here today and accepting this award and know how grateful I am. And I want you to know that you can do this too. Just because we're separated right now and culture may feel less alive in some ways, I know a renaissance is coming, and the wrath of pop culture will inspire you, and the rage of art will empower you as it responds to hardship with its generosity and love. This is what I believe. I want nothing more than to be your artist in 2020. It's a total privilege. I love you. Stay safe. Speak your mind. And I might sound like a broken record, but wear a mask. It's a
There we go. What a way to...
Empowering words.
Yeah.
Gotta give her credit for that.
Very
Taylor Swift
motivational.
also made history. You know, she was actually the first solo female artist to win Best Directing for her video, The Man, and was only the second woman to win the award following Melina Matsuka's For Formation by Beyonce back in 2016. So another person that made history as well.
And it wasn't just celebrities who are being acknowledged as part of the Video Music Awards. They even had a new category this year, Everyday Hero, Frontline Medical Workers. And one doctor who was singing, Nate Wood, won in this new category with his piano rendition of Lean on Me. There was also another category for a music video filmed during quarantine, and a lot of those videos were filmed from the comforts of the artists' homes. So pretty interesting twists as far as this year's edition is concerned.
Yeah, you got to recognize, for most artists and for most performers, it is a lot of hard work that goes into it. Yes, you can, there's a lot of people who would be envying, saying, oh, they're so rich and popular and they're driving this, they've got the perfect life. No. They do have a very different life as well. They've moved on from the normal. They've moved on from their comfort zone. They've found comfort and found acceptance in their stepping out of their own comfort zone. So to entertain us, yourself, and whoever has been consuming their content, and to receive such an appreciation that they do have a humble person in them. Yes, they might have a different persona, and it's very important to recognize each and every artist's work, whether they're your friends as well, even if they're popular or not that popular. The amount of work and dedication they put in, it's really important to be celebrating that and be mindful of that and acknowledge them.
Absolutely, and you spoke about recognizing, and the awards did honor and recognize the late actor Chadwick Boseman, who died of colon cancer, aged just 43, with a throwback to his 2018 appearance at the MTV Movie Awards when he won Best Hero and Best Performance in the film Black Panther.
Yeah, but he did show no signs of the suffering that he was going through in challenging period indeed, and that's what these artists do. They're chasing their dreams and they're continuing to work towards their dreams so that you can realize your own dreams, and they're not doing it or showing off, saying, I'm so popular and look at my music and look what I can do. It's all about your passion, and that's what they do, and that's the message they like to leave behind. So yes, yet again, appreciate every artist that you've come across, every person that is in performance, music, arts, culture, speaking, writing as well. So all of these do deserve their due credit. And in line with Rania saying that September is her month, we pay tribute to Rania with a song called September, Earth, Wind and Fire.
Yay.
There we go. Stay tuned to Pulse 95.
Stay fit. Stay fit. Stay fit.
Is it going to happen? Did it happen? Will it happen? Should it happen?
Too many questions.
Too many questions. That's it is. US Open had a lot of doubts over it. The United States of America continues to be the most affected country by the coronavirus, but the US Open started off. Karolina Pliskova was out there in full form. She made her mark in yesterday's encounter. We've also seen Naomi Osaka, who was very vocal about the developments in the United States over the shootings that were taking place. She also has had her say and taken part with an important win. Men's singles, we've seen Djokovic had a pretty interesting game. And it is going to be very interesting to see where we're going to go with the US Open so far.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting, and a bit of a bizarro US Open as well, following these sort of conditions imposed on the players and having to be in a bubble. Some U.S. players have even put in what one describes a bubble within a bubble after coming into contact with a player, Benoit Paire, who tested positive for the coronavirus. So heavy movement restrictions being imposed on U.S. Open players, some even having to do daily tests as well. And a number of players have spoken out about being within that environment and experiencing this sense of strangeness to this event with no audience members in sight, very echoey halls, and they pretty much could only hear themselves grunting and the coaches trying to speak to them throughout these games.
Yeah, and a lot of people have been saying, especially the tournament director for the US Open, saying that this is a really tough test for all the players of the US Open that we've never seen before. He said that I'm inspired by the opportunity our sport has with the largest international sport to return to the global stage. US Open, a massive Grand Slam, a very important tournament in the calendar for both ATP and WTA. Should it have gone ahead, do you think? at all? Are you not bothered about tennis? Say, you're playing two people playing, it's okay. That's not too much of a contact. It's not even just a 2 meter distance. You're miles apart. We're not really miles apart, but technically a pretty safe distance, so it should be okay. Do you reckon? No?
Well, I don't know.
It's an odd one because this is the United States we're talking about, and the coronavirus situation there is completely different from the one here, for example. So there is always that concern. Is it really safe?
It's the Grand Slam. It's the paychecks. It's the sponsors. Can't let the money down, can you? It's a big sport, and for most sports people, being stuck indoors or not having the match practice or the match pressure, it's just not on. They're so gearing. These sports athletes, they're so fired up and they just want to be out there performing and competing.
Right.
You tell them take a couple of months off. That's not them. That is not how they function. That is not their life.
Right.
So you can understand the players want to be out there and they do want to take part. But the mental game that they have with the safety bubbles, we've seen that in cricket. They play a 5-day test match or a three test match series away from families, away from everyone, and they're in that little bio bubble where they don't even leave the hotel or the stadium.
Right.
That's difficult. It's difficult to have no downtime.
Actually, a former world number one, Murray, is playing his first singles match at a major since the 2019 Australian Open, where he feared he might have to retire because of a hip injury.
Yeah.
He actually reached the last 16 at the Western and Southern Open last week, and he is confident his body can withstand the pressures of a major. But he did have some things to say about coming back and playing with the lack of fans in sight. He said, the level of tennis is what's important. I play my first match on Arthur Ashe, where I have experienced some of the best atmospheres I've ever had in tennis. So to go out there in such a huge stadium and have literally no one in the stands is going to be weird. I know that's going to be the case, so at least I can prepare for it mentally. It's different, but I'm just looking forward to getting to compete in a slam again.
Yeah, I think it'll be very interesting to see Andy Murray because he feeds off the energy from the crowd. He feeds off the energy from the encounters.
All athletes do, I believe.
All athletes do, but Andy Murray is very, very vocal. He's so expressive. He's just it'll be very interesting to see with no crowd around and how he reacts, and whatever he says will be heard on camera very easily. So I'm definitely looking forward to Andy Murray performing. No, but a very nice individual. I've had a couple of occasions of it. Actually interviewed Andy Murray. We've had to ask him to smile a bit at times because this is Andy we're talking about. But it's going to be very interesting. And you know, he was worried about his career, and hopefully he has a good outing and has a good farewell, because poor lad, he's put his heart and soul out there, but injuries has been his worst nightmare at the moment. Well, time now for the morning Majlis to head off. We will be returning bright and early tomorrow morning once again, 7 a.m. streaming live on YouTube on our Pulse 95 radio page. Do subscribe and share away, and also drop us a text on 4215 if you've been enjoying any particular content, would like to suggest some stories for us to discuss, because we always love a bit of a Majlis debate, because in the end it's your Majlis. And if you would like to catch up with the podcasts, where can they do that? Yeah,
you can type in Morning Majlis on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or SoundCloud, and listen to all of our conversations that we had today and every day. And as Abdul Karim said, if you didn't catch us on YouTube live from 7 to 10 watching us at the Morning Majlis, you can still do so, because we will be uploading episodes right after the program. So type in Pulse 95 Radio on YouTube and watch our show, Morning Majlis, and all the other shows on Pulse 95 Radio.
Thank you all for tuning in to the program, for joining us on the text lines as well, sharing your opinions. See you tomorrow for all discussions of the world's biggest developments, and stay tuned to Pulse 95.
Pulse 95. You're listening to Pulse 95. Pulse 95.
It's Pulse 95.